this is great. We're up a great start.
We're awesome start.
So Sade was like, I got this. It's almost ready. I got this. Boom, there. I quote retweeted that we went live on Twitter. And I go look at the tweet and I'm like, Sade, your link is not on this quote retweet or on the original tweet. Like, what are you doing? Where is your Twitch link? Where is it?
Yeah, so we're doing a drawing expression stream with 2 other people, awesome people. One is named Kalcedonyx.
Wow, that's me.
Yeah.
I sure am Kalcedonyx.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And the other one is Ara.
Hey, it's me, Aim.
So we're basically just gonna do like talk super about like the basics and stuff, and then also give, I don't know, we're gonna just try to like chill and talk about, I don't know, our feelings, our thoughts about
We're gonna talk about our feelings.
yeah, something like that.
We're getting real personal today.
Yeah, real personal. So again, this is not really a tutorial stream. It's more of even though we're going over some of the basics, it should more so be like just like
Workshop.
Yeah, workshops. Hopefully encourage you to like think about your creations or like what kind of expressions that you want to draw or something. Highly encourage that you bring, I don't know, pen and paper, stylus, whatever, and join us and draw. Here's our favorite expressions, which is, it's like happy, sad, and mad, which are like the most common emotions, and we all happen to have the same, like, different ones, which is really cool. Question: why do you like to draw expressions? That is a thing for you guys to answer.
I like to draw expressions because I don't like writing. And being able to lean on expressions and like body gestures and stuff like that and body language helps me get across the point in an image the way that I feel way more comfortable with words. So I really enjoy doing that. And the way that I struggle when I'm writing, and I could be like, I could just be drawing this. Like I could have made 5 panels of this by now before describing one thing.
I like, I guess, like sequential art. I've always been a huge fan of comics and stuff, and a big part of that is like character expressions.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like that was like the progenitor of my interest in drawing more expressive art, was because expressions have to like often be really pushed and exaggerated in sequential media like that. It kind of inspired me to do the same in a way. So yeah, that's pretty much why.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same. But like I guess I was really unsatisfied with myself in like high school because I tried to draw really edgy shit and it just turned out really cringe, or like I didn't like how it turned out. I'm like, I had no concept of like how to draw like, oh, like I don't know, crazy bloodied up faces or like emo like crying people, but I was like, I need to figure out how to do this. I guess as I progressed throughout like my art life, I was just like, how can I one up? So I just want to keep going. I really like the idea of like extreme emotions and stuff like that, and then yeah, I want to try to do that. So I think that's why.
Did you have like an idol that you particularly liked how they did expressions?
Yeah, actually, I liked looking at Lackadaisy comics, and I'm gonna actually put that, there's a slide for that. Also, Penguin Dustin asks, as you all got better at art, do you think your variations on common expressions get better?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
So this would be a good time. If you're talking about variations, here's like just some examples of like some things that I've done. Basically, I like extreme emotions. Pretty much just OC's Cled and Lois Griffin. So I don't draw Lois Griffin on a regular basis. I'm just telling you right now. But I like
it's your claim
stuff.
to fame, Sade.
Here's Kalcedonyx stuff.
Wow, I love to draw fangs. Hi, that's me.
So this is my stuff. I'm obsessed with Final Fantasy VI, so we're just gonna get that out the way. If I could, I'd make an anime of it. That's it.
Oh, here are like some expressions that I personally like, that they're like pretty exaggerated, but there's like a wide variety of things that you can do, and a lot of these panels are very iconic. Some of them are meme, like the Gasai one. The Kuripika one is a very iconic one.
I love that kind of like deadpan thing. You see it a lot in like Haikyuu too. A character gets like super serious and then they talk about like don't underestimate me type thing. It's really cool.
Yeah, and then even on a more extreme level, like you can really push these expressions. Yeah, like lots of like contrast and stuff. I love that Guts is in all of them. Yeah. And it can even be pushed further into almost like I always call like grotesque category where it's very
Oh my god, yes.
what makes an expression? Is it just like eyes and nose and mouth, or what would you say makes an expression?
To me, it's the whole head. When you factor in like more intense expressions, then there's a squash and stretch, right? So if the shape of the head isn't there, then it could be more expressive, is my thought. So it's not just the eyes and like the nose and the mouth. It's like the whole head shape in general.
I mean, I 100% agree. It's also bodies can be incorporated into expression. So like maybe you're in a situation where you don't want to reveal the face just yet. You can go ahead and just draw a certain like line of action or like position, like pose that you have the body doing before making that fantastic reveal. I'm thinking Junji Ito, where you turn the page and it's horrifying. Like someone's crouched over and you can't see their face. And then you turn the page and it's like everything.
Funny story. So we were doing gesture drawings. I remember, Hats noticed, and he was like, I can tell that this person is like joyful without even seeing their face. So I also agree with both of you. But I also like to expand that I think that expression is not only like movement and face and like the body, but also you can accentuate things via like the width of like, or like, like the pen strokes and like all that stuff. Like if it's something, if the lines are like very straight and jagged and stuff like that, that can be like a very, angry emotion or like shocked or something, stuff like that.
So like texture.
Yeah, texture. So here are excerpts from Scott McClaw's Understanding Comics and Making Comics. It's sort of like a Bible for anyone looking to go into comics or sequential art.
I actually own Making Comics, but I haven't looked through it in a while. But I do remember this chapter in it where it says that there's 6 expressions, which is the ones that you see up there: anger, disgust, fear, joy, sadness, and surprise. There is a wheel that we looked at earlier that added a 7th one that's just called bad, and I don't know what that's about, but we're just gonna ignore it for now. So there's all kinds of different ways to not just intensify each emotion, but also combine them and combine varying degrees of those expressions. So you could have a mild like fear mixed with a extreme anger to make something.
So let's talk about the first emotion, happiness. That's the most common emotion, right?
So good.
So I guess in general, I like to draw like snarky characters or like smiley characters that show teeth. Mainly because, one, I like to draw fangies, even though if a character doesn't really have fangies, I really like it. I like to emphasize their canines because I think it's a fun character trait. But that aside, I like drawing happy expressions because I think a lot of it has to do with like the eyes. So like when you're drawing a happy expression, right, people forget that it's like 60% the eyes, because if you're kind of smiling without the eyes, it gets to be a little soulless. So if you draw like the eyes like kind of squishing, kind of squinting almost, it really shows that the smile is affecting their whole face and it's not like a forced thing, so it seems more natural. Because if I were to draw a character and their eyes are just like fully open, like maybe they're not smiling that big, because when you smile, like if you try smiling right now, you'll notice that your cheeks puff up, right? And then it affects the way that the fats work around in your eyes. And so when you smile big, that gets emphasized even more. So when you want to draw like a more believable smile, I think you have to focus on the eyes more than the mouth. because you can draw like a mouth easily, but to make a smile really like pop, it would have to be like how the eyes are squishing and how big the mouth is, because you can draw like happy laughter shot, right, and like the mouth is like nice, big, wide and open, or someone like is smiling demurely, so you don't really see it in the mouth and it's all in the eyes, so you can have like a little smile. And I like to emphasize like the corners of the mouth, because that's where like, how do you explain, like where a lot of the tension is, because as opposed to just drawing like a little line, it makes the mouth seem more three-dimensional. Because if I were to just draw the eyes normally without that squish, it's just like she's just smiling a little bit, I guess, but there's a lot more emotion if you have like the little under eye squish right there. Oh, and when you're drawing like the cheek, the side of the cheek, right, you can like pronounce it also, if that's part of your style.
Yeah, okay, so squash and stretch. I did this like really quickly, but basically, the left one is like my neutral phase, but like the second phase is like whenever you guys like say a pun in chat, that's sort of what my expression looks like, and that is what it's so it's like my entire face is being squashed, right? So it's not just the I guess like the chin or whatever, but also like even the nose is like a little bit more squashed. It's like if you were to just literally like take your hand and like squish my head. That's pretty much what like the idea of squashing. And then stretching is the opposite, where you're literally stretching it like vertically or horizontally or whatever. So this would be like, a surprise phase. And everything, again, the nose, the mouth, the chin, all sort of stretched. And then the right are some pretty common examples of like, you'd see like the top one is sort of like what you'd see in like Pluto or like any of those Disney kind of stuff.
I love this gift.
So when you want to draw angry characters, just make sure you give them angry eyebrows.
All right, go on to sadness. Okay, so yeah, anger. The sections are so this thing like says that eyebrows are pulled down, upper lips are pulled up, lower lids are pulled up, margin of lips are rolled in, and lips may be tightened. Now this is just specifically that anger expression. There's many different ways to like, eyebrows don't always have to be pulled down. They can be like pulled up instead. But yeah, here are some examples of like how, especially there's a lot of like tension that ends up I don't know, you get like the middle of your or between your eyebrows gets like really squished too. And this happens with animals as well, which is interesting. But yeah, anyways.
When puppies get angry.
Oh yeah.
Their nose gets all scrunchy.
Because they like snarl and stuff.
So this one is a little thing I cooked up for the stream. So everything on the left is mainly about like different kinds of like or intensities of anger, right? And from top to bottom on the left side is just like, oh, okay, so we have someone who's angry but like maybe in an annoyed way, and then we have somebody who's kind of pissed off, and then we have somebody on the third one that's like, okay, well, I'm gonna kill you, and then the last one is I'm absolutely going to end your life. And then I wanted to make sure the column on the right to them kind of helps like exaggerate the one on the left. So that first one where it's like, okay, they're angry but maybe they're a little annoyed, so you want to exaggerate it further into the annoyed way. And then the second one is like, you could push the anger to be even more stern, and I changed it so that it was like a more direct facing, and like gives it a more halting like expression to give off the like you will look at how angry I am at you for saying that shit right now, like yeah. And then the third one is a much more threatening anger, but like in a more, it just gets more visceral as we start to descend now on this column. And you can see the little smileys I put on the right that kind of follow what I was thinking on each.
Yeah,
And,
like the simple expressions
yeah.
really help, like just to kind of make it like an emoji almost to help like the guide. Yeah.
And then the very last one, it's like it gets to the point where like this person is so viscerally pissed off, like they are unrecognizable and they don't look anything like they are anymore. They just look like pure anger and hatred. I think that's like one thing that I really enjoy about angry expressions is that like I was talking about it earlier how I have hot people syndrome where I can't stop drawing people characters being hot, but my way to make up for that is to draw them with primal emotions so that they will look pissed and they will do their ugly cries and they will have their ugly raw emotions.
All right, now the sadness. Explain. This is literally my panel. This is sadness. This is what it is. It's you put a long face, and it is sad. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So long faces. So actually, when we say why do you have a long face or whatever, we don't. It's not really that our emotions extremely like long, but it exists where we are and then it's like the squash and stretch thing. In Bojack's case, his nose is stretching. Here sadness, although again this one it says the inner corners of the by that it's like it from like this kind of eyebrow to like the eyelids are loose. It's not like you're angry or something where it's tightened, but you and then the lips corners are pulled down. Usually when I feel like I'm observing like sadness or whatever, I feel like a lot of the pressure is put into the mouth area because like your entire, which is why with the long face thing, right? Is because it's like your entire face sort of gets pulled down by these by the frown, So, and there's a lot of different examples, with a baby crying or like, or there's subtle sadness. I think like the one that's being like shown with like all the descriptions is more like they're despondent, they're very they're sad, but then there's also like tearing up, there's whining like a baby, so lots of really cool things. Because in like the baby example, like you're actually like scrunching up the eyes and everything. The eyelids are not really loose, and that's actually the opposite, where it's like scrunched up. And I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of like manga. So, I actually have a Haikyuu panel. I don't never watch Haikyuu, but
oh my god.
But yeah.
House gets even angrier.
I enjoy like a lot. I think these have a lot of variety or a lot of like subtlety. Even the Spike Spiegel one isn't actually even sad, but I think that the composition itself is actually makes it sort of sad. Like his expression is pretty like neutral, but the composition of it sort of makes it like there's something weighing on him, and so that itself I like stuff like that. There are no pretty criers. Yeah, for sure. You cry pics? I want to see pics of you crying. I mean, but yeah, Inio Asano, really cool. Another example is my own nips. That's a weird thing to ask. Okay, no, okay, this is a really random thing. I don't know if any. Okay, I'm probably crazy. But have you ever done an extreme? Have you ever felt like, you know, either really angry or really like sad or something, and then like in the middle of that, you're like, this might be good reference. Because I've definitely done that before.
Like taking a picture of yourself when you were upset?
Yeah.
No.
That's big brain, honestly.
I was like, I have to analyze this. Cause the idea of, okay, when a lot of people draw, especially like cute characters and stuff like that, a lot of people say that, especially when drawing females, like the more every line that you add to their face like adds age. So I know there's a lot of times when there are certain lines that get changed during expressions, but you might not see them like when you make translate it to like anime and stuff like that. Because if you do, like, you know how like a smile, right? Like a smile is like, you know, the grin, and then but you have, so when you smile, like you're actually your worry lines or whatever get pulled upwards too. But it's like you don't really usually put like the entire worry line because it makes it look sort of old.
Yeah, like it's more like the how do you say it? The implication of it rather than the whole thing.
Yeah. So I think this is really good at having that, like, that fine line between like, oh, what would be, what's good enough to like implicate it and make the emotion stronger than like before it gets like too much. Oh yeah. Oh, here's an example. So this isn't in animation. Okay, so when we're talking about like worry lines and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
A lot of I think like a problem is that people tend to not want to make their character like not cute. They don't want to make them not cute, right? Especially
Yeah.
if it's like a feminine girl or something. And I mean, I guess, do you guys have any opinions about like how to, or like what they should do? I guess.
Stop being cowards.
Stop being cowards.
Honestly, within the same vein, like this is gonna sound weird to say, right? But it doesn't matter what gender you are, we make expressions, you know?
Yeah.
Like I have a story of like when I was a fledgling artist, right, learning how to draw, and my friend who was also an artist, she was like, where are their fingernails? Because I would only draw fingernails on the girls because it makes them look effeminate. And I was like, and I told her that, and she was like, well, guys have fingernails too. So I'm like, you know what? You have a point. I would start learning how to draw fingernails and make them look manly. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
Yeah. No.
and it doesn't even need to be complicated, right? Like it's just like Sade was talking about earlier. Like you don't need to draw the whole like frown line. You just need to like to imply it.
Alright, yeah, so I think I'll probably call it. We've drawn a fair amount of we're just doodling and stuff. I don't know if this hopefully this helped a little bit with like people, hopefully. But the whole idea is like, you know, maybe, you know, spark some thought. Yeah, I don't know if this is something you guys want us to do more, just let us know. Otherwise, alright, without further ado, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming. Why is Dulcet sad?
They dropped their cupcake.
Who did that?
Those were supposed to be for me.
Yeah, wait, you. Wait a
Yes.
second.
For me. At least one of them.